right? So in this position, okay, the bent inward knee position, I do those 4 things. All right, test means test for range of motion. 2-finger pressure on the inside of the knee, and see how I'm blocking her leg under it. So I'm under her leg. I'm acting like I'm the floor right now, because I don't actually know. I might suspect, but I don't actually know what her functional range of motion is. I know her structural range of motion is that this leg should be able to go flat to the floor, okay? But I don't actually know what her functional range of motion, because there's probably a difference, right? So what I'm going to do is with easy 2-finger pressure, don't crank with your hand, just light finger pressure. Put that pressure, keep it consistent, and back out. And as you back out, the knee starts to drop until you get to a point, whoa, right there, where you lose the support. Now that's kind of far from the floor, isn't it? With 2-finger pressure, I didn't make it to the floor, okay? So that is actually her functional bottom in this position, right? So actually, I'm going to come back under right there and give her a little support. See, I'm the floor. For all intents and purposes, right now, I'm now the floor. I'm going to lock this knee in this position with my inside hand, and I'm going to do the second step, which is palm. Palm is palm press, okay? And what I'm going to do is come up into the knee. Now watch this. See how when I have locked the knee, when I raise up, watch how the hip goes up a little bit. So I've now locked this joint into place, okay, and it's quite solid. And I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to palm press straight on top of the leg, okay? So I'm just going to palm press down, test, palm. Now hit is I'm now going to come back under with both legs, making sure there's a good bit of support, and I'm going to do what's called 2-hand hacking, okay? The technique of 2-hand hacking looks like this. First, I'll just do it so you can see it. Okay? Now, 2-hand hacking means I've got both hands together, but my fingers are relaxed. The palms are pushed together pretty firmly, but my fingers are together, but they are relaxed. And what I'm doing is I'm using the extensibility or the elastic part of the tendons in my wrist. What it means is when I sling my hand down, okay, I'm not pulling it back up. That's the rebound, the kind of rubber band motion where my tendons want to make my hand come back up. So the impetus for the motion is only down. I just go down and the hands naturally come back up. I exaggerate the elbow position. That's what puts tension on that rubber band. All right? Now, when I hit, the only part of my hand that makes contact with the line is the ends of the fingers, the tips of the fingers. This is not hitting with the side of the hand, like this. Hear the difference in the sound? Mm-hmm. Now here's the sound with just the fingertips. Hear the difference? All right, and what that difference is when I do the hacking correctly, it's going like this. 1, 2, 3. So each time I make contact, it's not one impact, it's 3. So if you listen really carefully, now that you know that what's happening is it's going bang, 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 bang. Every time I touch, there's a triplet. It's a vibration. It's not so much about the big impact. It's the way I'm imparting vibration into the line, okay? Now listen and see if you can actually hear the little as opposed to just a bang, okay? Because now that you know what I'm doing. Listen, see if you can hear the difference. You hear that little edge, that little, okay? So that means it's a high efficiency technique. Every time I move my hands, I have 3 impacts, okay? Don't try to do this too fast. I see new students want to, for some reason, they want to do this really fast. You know, like, that somehow that makes it better. All right? I'm already hitting the line 3 times every time I move my hand. So I can actually go slow, and I can hit more. I can have more contact than if you're using the side of your hand and going really fast. If you go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I hit 15 times to your 5 times. Okay? So I got 3 times the amount of actual stimulation. So the hacking is really, really great technique for bringing energy to the line, right? So just go slow. Take your time. Okay? Test, palm, hit, stretch. All right? Stretch means now I back out and gently push the leg down to as far as you can go comfortably, and then immediately release. The release is very specific. When I let go, I'm going to grab the foot here and I'm going to pull it up under the knee. Pull the knee up and pull the foot up under the knee. That way, when I release this stretch, there's no torsion. Okay, on the medial knee. There's no twist, there's no torsion. Common mistake that people make in this posture is that when they come out, they try and straighten this leg out. Do not do that. Okay? Because if you straighten this, if you pull the heel away from the bottom in this position without releasing all the pressure on the knee, you can actually tweak the medial collateral ligament. If you did it fast and hard, you could tear the medial collateral ligament. So there's a good reason not to do that, right? Remember, we're practicing ahimsa. My objective here is not to create a new injury for her to have to deal with. My intention is to balance the energy and to bring her to a better place, right? All right, so as soon as that knee comes up, that means that foot has to come up under the knee, right? So far, so good? Mm-hmm. So we went from here, stretch, up, lever out, keep that heel tight. This distance is very important. Then sit down, nice and easy, 2-finger pressure. Adjust if necessary. A little roll here is nice, because especially with new people, if you've never had this done, there is this tendency to flex the straight leg. Now also, if this knee is over here, we get a binding in the inguinal area, which causes a sharp pain in the groin. Okay, so if this knee is over too far, when I go to push, I would expect her to have a pain in her groin. Okay, if the knee is out so that these legs are not over each other, that doesn't happen. Okay, so 2-finger pressure, test. Oh, if it doesn't go to the floor. Now, what if it goes to the floor? Well, however far it goes, that's where I support it. If this knee went flop to the floor, well, I would nail it to the floor. Okay? So sometimes people have really good range of motion here, and it'll go right to the floor where it's supposed to. If that happens, well, okay, great. So I'll lock it right there, and I'll palm press, hit. Now you say, well, wait a minute, it's already on the floor. How am I going to do a stretch? Well, all you do is you do a compression and release. Doesn't matter if it moves or not.
Can't stretch it anymore.
Yeah, but the compression has value. So then it's just a compression and release. All right? So then I come out of here, and as soon as I do that, both hands on this knee and push it straight forward like this. And now I'm going to move up into this position. Now notice I'm on an angle here about 45 degrees. I'm not square, I'm not facing up, I'm in about 45 degrees. Okay, and this technique is called Dak Wukao. Dak Wukao.
Dak Wukao.
Dak Wukao. Okay, say it. Dak Wukao.
Dak Wukao.
Okay, and Dak Wukao is a variation of pigeon pose. Okay, Dak Wukao is a variation of pigeon pose. Now hold the foot up, and we're going to do 4 positions. Now 1 is wrist. Say it.
Wrist.
2 is middle arm.
Middle arm.
3 is upper arm.
Upper arm.
And 4 is straight arms.
Straight arms.
Okay, so let's look at what we do for first position. Come up so you're sitting on your heels. Now, the goal here, because she's not going to actually be able to do this posture. But it doesn't matter. It's the way I'm importing energy into her system. That's good enough. It doesn't matter if she can actually do, you know, she's not going to be on the cover of Yoga Journal doing an inverted pigeon pose, okay? What matters is that I'm importing the energy of pigeon pose into her system, and it's in the form of a progressive release, all right? So ideally, from this position, make sure I'm the one holding the knee up. And how can I tell that? Well, if she's holding her leg up, if I let go, it should fall. If it doesn't fall, she's holding her leg up, right? So drop your leg. You see?
All right.
Now, how can I facilitate a release if she's controlling it? But she doesn't even know where I'm going to go, right? So what I do is I give it a little shake just to make sure it feels loose, right? So that I'm controlling it, she's not controlling it. Ideally, what's going to happen is this knee is going to go just outside this shoulder, and this foot is going to go just outside this shoulder, and the shin bone is going to lay square across her chest. Right? See, even me just saying that, she has fear. But she knows that's not going to happen. Hopefully, I'm not going to try and force that to happen. All right, here we go. Now, the method is hand to shoulder. So I bring the hand to my shoulder on this side, take a breath, and as I exhale, I come up and over on my knees and I fall on the leg. 1. Then I come to the second position, take a breath, and as I exhale, up and over. And then I go to the third position, take a breath, and as I exhale, up and over. See how I'm using my falling body weight as the compressive force? And then in fourth position, I roll out from behind the knee on top, straighten my arms and back up a little bit. Now I can kind of aim, okay? This knee outside that shoulder, this foot outside that shoulder. Take another breath and rock over into the stretch, okay? From here, the release is back up, back up, back up, into a good lunge, a nice square lunge, and set the foot on top of your thigh, tight to your hip, okay? That's the release out of Dak Wukao, all right? So you're down, all right, good. Let me have someone else. Great, so the last thing we did was Sao Nam, all right? In the last position in Sao Nam, stretch, and then I'm going to come up, put this knee into my hip, keep the heel tight to the bottom, and hers goes nice and easily, but outside, just outside slightly, and then sit down. Okay, let's double check for any tension here. All right, what's step number 1?
Test.
All right, so 2-finger pressure. Back up. And just as long as the knee keeps going down, I keep backing up. Oh, look at that, see? So right there, I'm going to brace the knee right there. And I'm going to come up. And see this highest point on the hip here? That's where the pressure starts.